that inference is something that CTOs should think about in an enterprise? Like, who should care about inference?
If we shift from the consumer space to the enterprise space is far more complex. So I think that not just the CTOs, but the CFOs should think about the inference cost. The CTO should think about the feasibility of implementing different LLMs into the ecosystem of all of the tools that the company is using. CIOs should take care about the data and the data flows, sovereignty of the data, etc. There is a lot of things that different roles in the organization should think about, but we also have to be aware of the fact that we need to create new roles in the organizations. You cannot have completely new platform and paradigm shift in computing and executing the day-to-day tasks to be governed by the same people with the same roles, with the same job descriptions. So we need to think about the organizational structures in the enterprises that have the ability to basically run these type of software products that we are going to have in the near future, that we already have basically.
So, and how much of this matters between just choosing the right model versus being able to influence the inference after you've chosen a model? Like, is it more, do you get more benefit from choosing the right model?
Well, you choose foundational model, and then depending on your use case, you're going to see what type of model you're going to use. Is it going to be a big model, a smaller model, where you're going to run it, and where the data is going. Is going to the cloud, is going to the private cloud, public cloud, hybrid on-prem and cloud, etc. And I truly believe that there is like a huge amount of new opportunities coming up for different architectures that are not the same as we have it today.
Well, this sounds far more than just saying, I'm going to choose ChatGPT or Claude, and I'm just going to start throwing some APIs on it and some interface with the tools in your organization. So
you will absolutely start like that, because we don't have like a golden solution right now. We don't have standards. What works best, what doesn't work best. And I think this is a great time for the people that love to tinker with different things, approaches, and try different things, because you can come to the solutions very quickly. But the problem becomes when you want to roll out these solutions outside and beyond the POC and MVP phase. When you need to make it and bring it to the production and then deliver it to hundreds of thousands of people in your organization in potentially hundreds of different countries. For the global organization, this is going to be a huge endeavor. And it shouldn't be underestimated. Although you come to a first POC very quickly, making it work in the production environment, in the enterprise production environment, is not going to be so quick.
How much are CTOs, when they're thinking about this, or technology executives that are involved in this, does this become a critical topic? So are they doing it at the POC phase, at the proof of concept phase when they're ideating around ideas? Or do they wait? Like, what's the dynamic? What do you think is the best time to think about inference?
So if we go back to the inference is very, I want to make a step back and just to explain one of the paradigm shifts that we have currently today is that we tend to solve everything with usage of the models. And it goes for classical machine learning models that we built at HTEC 10 years ago. And even today, people tend to think that everything can be done with machine learning. While in the most of the cases, 95% of the cases, you can solve it with either simple algorithms, pre-existing algorithms, or just good process. So it doesn't necessarily, we shouldn't start from the technology. We should start from the problem that we want to solve. Along the way, what's radically changing is that in every step of thinking about the product that we want to bring to the market or into the organization, we are going to use AI tools. Whether this is going to be for product definition or design generation or code generation, all these steps that were very, very costly and time-consuming previously have now shrank in the cost, which is a great thing for us that want to try different solutions very quickly. On the other hand, this is allowing us also to think about the ways how we can solve the problems not using the machine learning models or LLMs or any foundational model that we have today. So it's important for everybody to start from the product, what we want to build, for whom we are building this, and then think about the technology and how we are going to implement it. So we delineate between the AI tools that are helping us achieve and build the product, and maybe that product is going to be simple application like before, but done very quickly with less cost.
You know, it's almost that you have to have the ability to look at the cost impact across the entire chain.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you're going to rapidly, you can launch the product and the price tag might be too high when you actually try to implement it. And so do you see that? Do you see people like,
people are definitely thinking about it. Yeah, people are thinking about that, but not as much because it didn't hit them that hard still. It's still in the POC phases, but 2026 is the year when we are going to move beyond the POC, where everybody is expecting that we are going to have the true ROI on the investment that we are making with AI. And one of the biggest benefits that we see today in the industry is one of the things that were stopping the innovation and development, and this is sheer coding, was very slow, tedious process, is now being augmented, significantly augmented. And this is only this, if you look very narrowly, only this is going to provide a huge value for the people to build a software solution quicker, to test them out on the market, to test them with the customers, to churn different features much quicker and faster, to get the customer feedback that is more profound, and to actually build something that customers want to use and need at the end of the day. So that discovery and the whole process and rapid prototyping of the features that are on production is really a value and ROI. And this is why you see Anthropic, for example, that went into the coding space in the best way possible, and they were one of the first, is growing so much. Claude Code was built and announced, not built, but announced in May last year. It's not a full year now, and you see enormous amount of revenue coming to Claude, and all of the big organizations that are heavily coding actually using Claude.
So this sounds like it matters when you start using agents and models within the product itself. So
exactly.
And then you have to optimize. Once those models are active, you have to figure out the cost ticket is going to come soon.
Yes. When you have a model, when you have an API to one of the models out there that you want that model to do something, when you have agents, orchestrated agents that are going to do who knows what because you don't have a full control over it, then the cost can explode.